Welcome to the Garden Planning Workshop, the first workshop in our Koanga Gardening Masterclass series. So this planning process came to me one morning when I was seriously considering planting my spring garden about 10 years ago. I decided that I wanted to grow all of my own vegetables and grains and seeds. We eat a Western price diet, so we weren't totally dependent on the garden for all of our nutrition. We still eat eggs and milk and meat, but I wanted to grow everything else in my garden or my forest garden. From my past experience, I was really aware that it's very easy to plan a summer garden and have plenty of vegetables over the summer, but it all falls apart when autumn comes and winter comes and we haven't done the planning required so that we don't have a break in the food from the garden, and we always end up back in the supermarket for the winter. And I wanted to make sure that this winter I wasn't going to end up back in the supermarket. And I was also very aware that I had limited time to be putting into this gardening. I'm working full time. I was also aware that the soil that I'm using that I wanted to grow all my food in was needed a lot of work, needed a lot of building so that it could grow my food. So here I was, I'm sitting there and I'm wanting to pull together a design process that takes everything into account. I want it to be able to produce a lot of high quality food for the minimum amount of energy put in. I want it to be super efficient use of my time. I want it to be building soil at the same time. I want it to be a regenerative process, and I want it to be growing nutrient dense food. While we're still got gaps in our garden, we've got nothing there in the autumn for a while, or nothing there in the winter for a while, or even more in the spring, and we still go to the supermarket to fill those gaps, we never have to front the planning process. We never get really good at planning. So I guess I made a decision here. I wanted to get good enough at planning that I could plan a garden that would feed my family, it would be high quality food, it would be done in an efficient way, and I wouldn't have to be spending money in the supermarket. As I started to develop this planning process, I became more and more aware that it was, although it seemed like a simple step-by-step process, it was somehow in a gentle way forcing me to front the creation of a whole new culture, because our culture, our way of living, that what we spend our time doing, what we grow, what we eat, what we process, the food we store, the meals we eat is our culture. It's who we are. It's our relationship with the land, it's our relationship with our families. Our food culture is the centre of life on earth in a way. So I was becoming aware that this step-by-step seemingly simple process was actually creating in me a whole new way of thinking about who I am and my relationship with my environment, how I want to eat. And it was actually in a gentle way that I was kind of unconscious of in the beginning, supporting me to step back into that age-old process of co-evolution, which is a word that I'd been playing around with for a long time. Like, co-evolution is how we're all here. Like, we all co-evolved out of our relationship with the earth, where our ancestors lived, with the energies of the sky at that place, the energies of the earth at that place, with the plants and trees and animals that lived there. We've always been in a super close connection with all of those elements of our environment and our ecosystem, and we co-evolved in relationship with them. And making that decision to step out of the supermarket, to stop spending money in the supermarket, and to plan and grow a garden that can feed us, takes us back. It's a really powerful process for taking us back into that age-old process of co-evolution with our own environment and ourselves. So I'm very aware that several generations ago, our ancestors didn't need to have a garden planner to tell them what to plant and when to do everything and what they were going to plant. It was just part of who they were. It was part of the information that was built into them through generations of living on that place with the plants and animals that also co-evolved and lived on that place. But we're in a situation now where most of us are somewhere else, and for lots of reasons we have to begin again. So it's our job now to design another pattern language, to create another way of gardening that works for us. In this garden planner, we are standing on the work of the Biointensive Institute, John Jevons. We're standing on the work of the current biological agriculture movement in the world, which has added a whole lot of new information around how living systems work. We're standing in awe of the photosynthesis process, the magic photosynthesis machine. I also have a lot of experience in gardening and what works, what doesn't. And I'm also using the experience I have that shows me that approximately 100 square metres is about the right size of a garden to grow all of the food for one person for the whole year. So that's all of the vegetables and grains and seeds if you're eating a Western Price type diet. It's not going to be a complete diet, but it's that part of the diet. Let's step into the process now, and the first step here is to understand and get really familiar with the Koinga Garden Planner Master Chart. So we're going to take you through the master chart, and then after that we'll begin the step-by-step process of planning a garden.